Hello everyone, I hope you're all well. Today I'm going to be doing the Your Answer Can't Be Books tag, which was originally created by the BookTubers, but I was tagged by the lovely Gina at Gina Stan Your Books, who I adore and whose videos always make me just feel so cozy. But I know Gina's been watching my channel for a really long time and has always been super supportive, so thank you, Gina. So I'm doing the tag. I'm actually on my lunch break right now, and it is torrential rain here in London, and which is fine because I'm working, but it is so miserable that I wanted to brighten up my day a bit by filming a video. I'm sitting at my desk, but it does mean I'm on my swivel chair because I'm an adult now and I have a desk chair, but I am really worried that I'm just going to spend all the video just slowly swiveling. You can't really see my desk behind me, but this is what it looks like. It's my work setup. I actually, when I'm on Zoom calls, my camera doesn't face my bookshelves. It did originally, but then when we got Sybil, who is actually on her cat tree just there, I'm really hoping she's gonna just go to sleep and be really quiet. But she's a massive climber. She spends all of her time on door frames, top of wardrobe, so she kind of scales my bookshelves really regularly. And when I'm on call sometimes, previously when she's been behind me, it's obviously really close when she's climbing up the bookshelves. And you know when you're in assembly as a kid, when you know you shouldn't laugh, and then because I get really, I'm such a child, I like giggle, like I get giggling fits just all the time, that it was so distracting when she would climb up because it was just awful because I would really need to laugh. Whereas the other way, when I actually kind of, my Zoom calls like face my sofa, even if it faces her like her cat tree, it's not as distracting. Anyway, that has nothing to do with the tag, but that's why the setup looks slightly more different, because I'm working. I'm going to dive straight in. What is something you own way too many of other than books? For me, this is 100% tote bags. I've had hundreds, I've acquired hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tote bags in my time. I think partially because in publishing it feels like it is illegal to publish a book without also having an accompanying tote bag with the cover on or some kind of copy. So I've acquired a lot from publishers, but I've also bought some as well because for me they're like a perfect souvenir of a place. So it's not just the publishers, it's not just working in publishing. I am also guilty of it. I've just grabbed some quick examples, but I realised they're really dirty because at least with this I have so many of them, but I use all of them. I never leave the house without a tote bag, so please ignore if they're like really dirty. The first one is the most recent, I think, acquisition I've had, which is the Beautiful World Where Are You Tote by Sally Rooney. And obviously I love Sally Rooney and I love that novel, so I've been currently kind of sporting that because it's culturally relevant, I feel. And then what other one did I pick? Maybe I should have looked at these. Oh my god, it's still got loads of receipts in. I don't empty any of my tote bags. This is so filthy. So the next one is one I've actually bought, and it is the Minstergate Bookshop tote. The Minstergate Bookshop is one of my favourite, in fact it is my favourite bookshop in York, and I bought it to support the bookshop. I do buy books regularly from there whenever I go, but I kind of like this because that bookshop feels like really special to me, so I kind of like that I can be in London and be kind of supporting it. The third one, this is representative of my identity in general, and it is one of the penguin totes. This looks so mucky, but this is actually my favourite type of tote bag. I think this was given to me by Penguin, but they have the little clasps, the little thing, what are these called? It's called a clasp, right? But it means that I can actually kind of close it up and it's not really open, and in London that's just perfect because it's a big city. What I love about tote bags is I guess what I kind of like about clothes in general, like fashion. I'm probably more into tote bags than I am to fashion, to be honest. But you can kind of, you know, they're like a symbol of your identity. You know, if someone has a tote bag about something they normally really care about, and I like being able to kind of walk around with a tote bag that has a room of one's own on it because it's obviously one of my favourite books, or Pride and Prejudice. And you know, people know that I like that book enough to wear it. The second question is, what is something you do for fun that's not reading a book? So, I mean, I guess this, I've been making videos now for 10 years, and some of my favourite videos to make are a big part of my, I guess, identity or my hobby, and it's those kind of like snapshot-y, the ones where I don't speak, the ones that don't have me in, but the ones that explore particular areas and bookshops. I really like that type of, I was supposed to be filmmaking, but it is not filmmaking. I don't know, what would you call it, videography? Like I really love photography. I know nothing about it, but I love taking pictures and I get so much joy from doing that. I just love exploring places. I love visiting new places, especially in England, and exploring the British countryside is something that I love doing. I'm from a family of walkers, so I like to be outside, even though that love, I think, is... Maybe I didn't have that love when I was young because my mum was constantly taking me up massive mountains, but I definitely have that love of the countryside now, probably from her. What else? Yeah, so I guess I'm like a street haunter in kind of a Virginia Woolf-esque way. I'm also into swimming, so I started swimming, well, like quite a few months ago now, but I go really regularly with Ben, and that's something that I would say is a hobby because I look forward to it every single time we go. We go a couple of times a week and it makes me feel productive and good, and it's a hobby that means I can leave my phone at home and I am not contactable when I'm swimming, so that's something I've kind of put in place again to kind of make me have time away from work and just enjoy myself. I'm aware I was only really supposed to say one thing, but the other thing would be just like researching, like a massive history geek, and even though I guess it's kind of book related, but I regularly research like prospective essays and put research documents together of things I'm really interested in. Recently it was Jacobean pregnancy portraits and pregnancy in that era, just really random stuff I get obsessed by. I have hyperfixation, so there are certain moments when, or months, when I literally will not be able to think of anything except this one very specific thing, and even when someone's talking to me, that's all like I struggle. If I've gotten like a special interest at that moment in time, that is the only thing I'm interested in, which can be a great thing, but it can also be quite bad. But it does mean that I spend a lot of my time researching and just doing that kind of stuff, and for me that is also a hobby and something that I spend a lot of my time doing. What is something special or important on your nightstand that's not a book? So since having Sybil, we don't really keep many things on our nightstands, just because she's kind of climbing on everything. Often Sybil is on my nightstand, and at certain points in the night she kind of sits there like a gargoyle and just staring down at me, which is slightly disconcerting. So I would say Sybil, but the other thing I realised is that all of my makeup. I don't have a massive makeup collection. I'm very much a lipstick and eyeliner girl, as you can see. So I actually decided to pick up a lipstick, and I've picked the kind of very reflective case. And I've picked one of my favourite lipsticks, which is, this will look gross actually if I open it up. Let me see how gross it looks. Yeah, it looks pretty. I'm just going to quickly look. There we are. It's red. No surprise there. I've picked this one because it was my first ever fancy lipstick. In fact, it's my one of two fancy lipsticks that I own that my aunt gave to me, and I really treasure it because of that. But also red lipstick and just lipstick in general. I realised I should have worn this for this video. Maybe should have panned this answer. But lipstick is something that I often don't feel complete with. I just love when I put it on and I feel like myself, and I've been wearing it for such a long time, since school really, that it's now when people think of me, they often think of red lipstick. So I think since I can identify her, I guess. I've just noticed that my collar was flipped inside, and I'm that much a perfectionist that normally, I'm now really embarrassed, normally I would like to refilm because of that tiny thing, but I can't, and I know that no one will care. So please don't comment if you noticed about the collar. Let me get back to the question. What's something you buy at a bookstore other than books? My answer for this is probably the tote bags. If I'm going to buy a tote bag, it will probably be from a bookshop. I don't really use bookmarks. The other thing that I do buy is cards. I really like a lot of bookshops, especially independents, have some really beautiful birthday cards and things. So I tend to get, if I'm going to send someone a birthday card, it'll be from there. And also just postcards in general, especially if you're going to, you know, a particular place. They often have like a little almost touristy section, and they often have some really nice postcards from there. So in fact you won't be able to see, but this postcard right here is Postcard of York, and I think I got that in the York Waterstones, but I never send the postcards. I always just keep them and frame them. They're just like tiny little pieces of art, and they're often like £1 or less. What's a fun gift you've received that wasn't a book or a gift card for books? Now, I really struggled with this question, which is really dumb because of course I've been given lots of wonderful things throughout my life, but I couldn't really think of any. And I know that though, in fact, I mean, my in-laws bought me the candle that's currently burning, and candle, is that still burning? Yes, it is. I need to kind of blow that out. I love candles. I'm a very sensory person. I have a ridiculous sense of smell, so I attach like memories to smells, and so anything that has a smell I like, because it's something that I don't get a lot of joy out of. One thing I'll say in terms of like gifts and spending money is that I often like prioritise experiences over things. So I think I'm going to say one of our day trips to Paris, because waking up really early and leaving London and having a full day in Paris and coming back to London at night time and walking back home through London and just thinking that I had breakfast in Paris is just such a strange and wonderful thing. There's one trip in particular which was for our anniversary, it must have been 2019, and we stumbled across a bread festival. I still can't remember where it was in Paris, but Ben went in and bought me some lovely French bread, and it was like just the perfect thing. You're in Paris, you stumble across a bread festival, and then I'm just eating a baguette and then walking along the Seine. Like it was beautiful. What's a YouTube channel that you watch that's not related to books? So I'm going to cheat here slightly and say Emma Angeline, because even though Emma does have book videos on their channel, she always says that she's not a booktuber, but actually my favourite videos of Emma's actually aren't the book videos. They're actually her vlogs going around London, and I just love watching vlogs, always have done, and just seeing her explore London, walking around, and I just really like. Also Estée Lalonde, actually, thinking of London vlogs, when I was moving to London, I basically watched all of Estée's videos, all of her vlogs in London, just to almost prepare me to move, and I just fell in love with the city actually through her videos, and just how informal they were and how much you were taken on a journey, and it was kind of like settling down with someone who you knew really well. But I watch a lot of different types of YouTube. I don't really watch that many, if any, booktube now, to be honest. But it does mean that I kind of, spend a lot of time watching, I think, kind of slightly aligned videos. So like Philosophy Tube, for instance. I love kind of educational videos in general. And I also love a bit of true crime, like That's Chapter. But I haven't watched that as much recently. I've kind of been enjoying just kind of people's vlogs, because I think they're the videos that I would love to make the most. I like kind of people taking me around different cities and seeing their lives, and I guess it's kind of the odd parasocial relationship thing when you know so much about someone, but it is a comfort watch for me. The last question is actually to tag people to do this video, but because I'm so late to the game, everybody I know who I know that would do it if I tagged them have already done it, so I'm not going to tag anybody. And I know that's like against all of the rules of tags, but actually when tags say please tag people, it actually gives me genuine anxiety. So if you haven't done the video and you would like to, please do. It's a really lovely video to do, especially if you're just nosy like me. I'm now going to get back to work, and I really hope I haven't been swiveling too much in this chat. But for now, have a lovely day, and I'll see you again soon in another video.